Hey everybody, your friendly neighborhood Glenn here from the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference. I'm with Michael Edwards, VP of Asset Management with Castlerock. And how are you doing today, man? What's going on here at Hunter for you?
It's good. Still networking relationships. Deals are still kind of slow, so it's seeing what's out there.
Well, generally speaking, I'm hearing that deals, the pipeline is going to pick up throughout the year. But what I'm curious to hear from you is, what is the stories that you're hearing first and foremost as it relates to what you're trying to accomplish through asset management?
For me personally, I don't really get involved until the asset is ours. So I'm not very much involved in the deal unless there is some collaborative insight on underwriting or location opinions. But so the assets that we have, I'm working on those tirelessly until we get something else, which obviously with the environment, like we're all kind of just waiting and biding our time until something comes up. But when it does, then, that's when we jump in for the owner.
So as an advocate for the owners, what are some of the top issues that you're thinking about today that you're really honing in on to make sure you can enhance profitability for those properties?
I think for one of us, especially with the environment right now, is trying to assist, and depending on whatever cost of debt comes in,
right,
that you're going to be locked into that for several years until you can refi, even if it's a floating rate. So cash flow becomes king, and so you're really trying to politely talk with the operators to make sure that they understand that they're operating as efficiently as possible, so that the cash flow to the owner can at least cover the bare minimum, especially depending on what rates do over the course of the year.
I find that there's still a disconnect, generally speaking, not referring to any of the properties that you work on, between the property level and ownership. But sometimes I feel like the folks at the property don't really understand what the owner's needs are and are therefore unable to perform in the particular way that's needed. So my guess is you are able to come in there, make that really clear, and help streamline things. So what are some things that owners are really thinking about that someone at the property level may not be considering when they wake up in the morning?
Well, that's kind of a double-edged sword, because ultimately, in my opinion, the operations, unless potentially the GM and maybe director of finance, operations don't need to know what's going on in the owner's world,
right?
Because that distracts them from operating the hotel. If your front desk agent or a server is thinking of like, oh my God, if we don't do this, we can't make debt service, that's they're in the wrong, they're thinking in the wrong headspace. So for me, it's coming down and it's having those conversations monthly or weekly to make sure that pace is on point, that they're still going for, group bookings, that their transient pace is fine, what's the rate. Obviously comparing to the comp set, because we may look down, but if you're 1 or 2 in our comp set, then you kind of get an idea that the whole comp set's in the same boat. Now, if you start missing those targets, then those conversations become a little bit harder from an owner's perspective. But at the end of the day, you're working with the management company. You still have to have faith. You still have to have a good relationship with that management company. Because if you come in there swinging a big stick, it doesn't work.
No, it's better to try to get together and be a little bit more kumbaya, make sure people are on the same page, right? Because that always works better. If you make people feel good, they will perform better, in my opinion. So how do you think about growing your side of the business at Castlerock?
Right now, our 2 assets are in Nashville. We have one particular branded property that's ours, independent brand, Bobby Hotel. So we're really looking at markets to expand that brand and still manage and operate, and going out and getting investors to help with that. But ultimately, whether it's 1 or 10 over the next few years, my job is to focus on the assets once we get them and make sure they're as profitable as possible.
Yeah, and that will help the rest of the company grow the portfolio for sure. How can we learn more about you?
If there is any interest, feel free to reach out to me. Our website, CastlerockAssetManagement.com. We have a wonderful marketing team that's probably way more photogenic than me. That'd be more than welcome to.
I can't believe that for a minute.
Talk about the brand and any opportunities they have with the brand. But as with, a bunch of great operators and professionals at this conference, we're always open to talk for hotel management contracts, asset management agreements, things like that.
Awesome. Well, hey, for Michael and myself, Glenn, thank you so much for watching. And while you're here, why not like it, share this video, all that kind of fun stuff. Be sure to subscribe. Text the word hotel to 66866. That's hotel to 66866. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you again soon.